Vaughn, how are you, buddy?
I am good, sir. The weather is heating up, but I'm not so certain about the real estate market.
Yeah, usually at this time of the year, the weather gets nice. We get out our golf clubs and feel guilty because we're so busy with the real estate market, but that has not happened. Numbers came out this week, and for April, number of sales year to date is down 20%. We were certainly expecting to have a bit of a stronger real estate market going into the spring. Interest rates of the Bank of Canada rates have come down, and so the predictions were we're going to have a pretty good spring market. Now that has not happened, at least not this far, but it seems like that has a lot to do with uncertainty. Your what's your overall take on these numbers, Vaughn?
Yeah, there is, I hate to drag like a cultural phenomenon into anything. I'd rather keep it to the numbers, but I mean, we are human beings and we do move, in a group together. And I think that that's what we're seeing. A little bit of uncertainty over time can create a lot of uncertainty. I have a prediction of, or an estimation of where it's coming from and in the employment area, and we'll take a look at that after. But in general, it doesn't necessarily have to be one factor. But as things slow down, we've got this reverse FOMO happening at the moment.
Yeah. Condo sales in particular are down 7% from last year. The average sale price in 2024 was 728. We're down to 678,000. This is for Toronto or for the GTA in total. So that has a lot of different types of condos in it. That's not just downtown, but that's the 905 where we're seeing some pretty big price decreases as well. But the kind of overarching number is the number of sales. Let me just switch to a different view here. Actually, you won't be able to see it, but number of condo sales so far this year is down to 1,430, which is down 30%. That's 29%. That's a big number.
Is this all resale that we're looking at, or is this a new development as well?
Yeah, new development and resale. Anything that's hitting the MLS system.
Right. Yeah, and I mean we've talked about it, and I think we're going to talk about it more today, is the specific types of condos. It's good when we look at this information to pull out specific markets. When we look at detached properties, they're holding value just fine, and they're not really increasing in value. But it's really the condo market that's really impacting the numbers if you look at GTA or probably Greater Vancouver as well, because a lot of those purpose-built rental units, they're just not moving right now. The investors, trying to pull out, and nobody wants in at this particular moment.
Yeah, top line here being the total number of sales for 2025. So I know you can't see it on your screen, but 25 through to 2020. This is for the whole Toronto Real Estate Board. So this is April 2025, the total number of sales, this is all property types, is at 5,601. Last 2024, which wasn't a banner year, that was 7,302. And you can see in 2021, which was a huge outlier, was 13,613. We're a lot closer to the 2020 pandemic number than we are to the 2021, real estate markets on fire number.
What a difference when you look at that altogether. How we went from people were terrified to leave their house. So there was no action, and then once it started warming up, it really caught fire. And then, it looks like 3 years of pretty close numbers, and now we're feeling the squeeze on the other side.
Feeling the heat now, and months of inventory. I don't know if maybe our listeners aren't sure what this number is, but months of inventory means the total number of active lists. How many months it would take to eat up the total number of active listings based on this month's sales. So basically 27,386 divided by 5,601 is going to give you a 4.89 months of inventory. So almost 5 months. And so if you look back, that's even worse than where it was at the start of the pandemic in 2020. And that's, 10,000 active listings versus 3,000 sales is nowhere near the 27,000 active listings that we have versus the 5,000. So yes, prices have gone up since 2020, but they've certainly cooled off since the heyday of 2021, even 2022, and just been relatively flat in that period since that time.
It's absolutely insane to look at this. We were talking for years and years and years about a housing crisis. If you were to look at these numbers, you would say, what housing crisis? There's so much inventory available. And even when you look at prices are right now, I think it's reasonable. At least price growth, doesn't look so scary that, hey, if we don't buy today, we can't get in tomorrow. And then interest rates are reasonable. They're not, the 2.5% that we had to set the industry on fire, but they're certainly manageable. So then you say, well, if prices are okay, interest rates are manageable, what is holding people back?
You got to wonder. Well, let's dive into that a little bit here.